what if the greatest secret of modern physics wasn't discovered in some billion-dollar lab, but was actually written down on dried palm leaves thousands of years ago? I mean, we usually think of the multiverse as this super modern quantum theory, right? Like a product of massive space telescopes and giant particle accelerators. But what if our ancestors already knew all about hidden dimensions, vibrating strings, and infinite parallel worlds? Did they have, like, quantum telescopes? Or maybe access to lost knowledge we're just now rediscovering? Well, welcome to this explainer, where we're going to dive into exactly that. Today, we're unpacking some truly mind-bending parallels between ancient Hindu cosmological texts and today's cutting-edge theoretical physics. Honestly, when you place modern astrophysics side by side with these ancient philosophical tenets, the similarities are so striking, they might just completely change how you view both science and history. It's almost like finding a modern physics textbook buried in ancient ruins. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with two paths to reality, then we'll move through the Big Bang and Brahmavada, multiverses in the Puranas, dimensions and string theory, the conscious observer, and finally we'll bridge science and antiquity. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, two paths to reality, the framework of existence. So how exactly do deep, ancient meditation and complex modern mathematics end up describing the exact same bizarre reality? Let's establish our modern scientific baseline first. Back in 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed the many worlds interpretation. Basically, this theory suggests that every single time a quantum choice is made, the universe effectively splits. Every possible outcome is realized, just in different parallel realities. In one reality, you're watching this explainer. In another, you skipped right past it. Today, string theory even suggests our cosmos is just one bubble in an infinite ocean of bubble universes. Keep the words ocean and bubble in the back of your mind as we go forward. Now let's travel back about 3,000 years and contrast that physics definition with the ancient Vedic concepts of samsara and maya. Long before anyone was talking about quantum mechanics, Hindu cosmology was already describing a dynamic, incredibly multi-layered existence. The concept of maya suggests that the world we perceive with our everyday senses is, well, essentially an illusion, or just a limited projection masking a much grander, multi-dimensional reality humming right beneath the surface. Sound familiar? It's the exact same concept of hidden realities, just spoken in the language of antiquity. Moving on to section 2, Big Bang and Brahmavada, the birth of the cosmos. Let's look at how these two completely different worldviews tackle the absolute beginning of everything. You've got Alan Guth's 1980 Big Bang theory of cosmic inflation, which states that the entire universe was condensed into this infinitesimally small, unimaginably dense singularity that just suddenly exploded outwards. Now, strikingly, the ancient Bhagavata Purana describes the Brahmanda. This is described as a lifeless cosmic egg that eventually bursts open, expanding outwards to create the entire macrocosm. An infinitely dense point bursting open to create the universe? I mean, the parallel there is just undeniable. And to see just how deep these ancient texts actually go, we have to look at the Rig Veda. It literally describes a dense darkness existing right before the creation of the universe. Reading this today, it's remarkably similar to modern astrophysical descriptions of black holes or that pre-Big Bang singularity we just talked about. They were conceptualizing infinite density and totally lightless voids thousands of years before we even had a scientific name for them. Okay, section 3, multiverses and the Puranas, infinite realities. Today, brilliant physicists like Max Tegmark and Brian Breen break down the multiverse into distinct scientific models. You've got level 1 through 4, cyclic, brane, and quilted multiverses. But here's where it gets wild. If you map those models against Hindu cosmology, they line up perfectly. The Puranas explicitly speak of different lokas or realms. They talk about countless universes contained within a single Mahayuga, and even infinite Brahmas governing their own distinct, separate realities. It is essentially a complete, structured classification system for the multiverse, theorized millennia ago. This whole thing builds into an incredibly complex philosophical framework. Take the tenets of Vallabhacharya's 16th century Vedanta, for example. He studied the ancient texts and concluded that the entire universe is an evolving, continuous manifestation of a supreme force. So it's not just a static one-and-done creation, but a dynamic, constantly unfolding reality. Put that into modern terms, and it perfectly echoes continuous cosmic inflation, where the universe is this living, expanding fabric. And when you zoom out to look at the massive scale of cyclic time, the connections deepen even further. In the Puranas, the universe undergoes these endless, repeating cycles of creation, preservation, destruction, and rebirth known as kalpas. Now compare this to the modern cyclic multiverse theory. That theory suggests our universe is just one of many brains that expand, eventually collide, destroy their old contents, and then bounce back in a brand new Big Bang. The ancient stages and our modern string theorists are literally drawing the exact same timeline of existence. Let's slide into Section 4, Dimensions and String Theory, the fabric of space. So, stepping away from parallel universes for a second, let's look at the microscopic, fundamental fabric of space itself. In 1995, physicist Edward Witten introduced M-theory. This is an extension of string theory that actually requires 11 dimensions of reality to function, most of which are completely hidden from our physical view. Well, thousands of years earlier, the ancient Yoga Vasista categorized existence into 3 distinct spaces: Bhutakash, the physical space; Chitakash, the mental dimension; and Chidakash, the supreme, all-encompassing dimension. Both of these models insist that what we physically observe around us is only a tiny, tiny fraction of actual reality. This brings us to an absolutely incredible ancient narrative that metaphorically anchors these ideas. The Yoga Vasista tells the story of Queen Leela. Through deep, altered states of consciousness, she traverses various planes of existence and alternate realities where completely different versions of her life play out. Guys, it is a stunningly accurate metaphor for consciousness navigating multiple quantum dimensions. It mirrors exactly what the many worlds interpretation suggests happens mathematically. But here's the kicker. Queen Leila's journey wasn't just spatial, it was temporal too. Her mental journey through time mirrors the theoretical models of time travel we use right now. When you look at Einstein's 1915 general relativity regarding time dilation, or Kip Thorne's theories on wormholes acting as bridges between specific times, you actually see the modern scientific framework for exactly what Queen Leila experienced in the ancient story. Time is completely pliant and nonlinear in both paradigms. Which brings us to Section 5, the conscious observer, shaping physical worlds. If reality is actually this complex, multidimensional web, how do we as humans actually affect it? This brings us to one of the most famous mysteries in all of science, the observer effect. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in a state of superposition. That means they are everywhere and nowhere at once, until they are actively observed or measured. The act of observation literally forces reality to pick a state. And this directly echoes the Hindu concept that reality isn't some fixed external object, but a projection determined entirely by the conscious observer. Knowing all this, it's really no wonder the founders of modern physics were obsessed with these texts. The very pioneers of quantum physics, brilliant minds like Erwin Schrödinger, explicitly looked to the Upanishads. When their own quantum discoveries became way too bizarre and counterintuitive, they used the philosophical foundation of these ancient Indian texts to grapple with the mind-bending implications of a world shaped by consciousness. Let's pull this all together in Section 6, Bridging Science and Antiquity, a Unified Cosmic Web. Ancient texts describe Indra's net, an infinite, interconnected web where every single point reflects every other point in the universe, and the modern equivalent, quantum entanglement, where particles interact instantaneously with each other regardless of the distance between them. Whether we're talking about string theory's vibrating cosmic fabric, or the ancient teaching that the Atman, the individual, is intimately connected to the Brahman, the universal whole, they are describing the exact same deeply entangled universe. As researchers continue to publish in modern academic journals today, a profound conclusion is really becoming clear. The deeper science dives into subatomic particles, the closer it gets to what ancient mystics found in deep meditation. Maybe they didn't need particle accelerators, because the greatest quantum telescope is actually hidden inside the human mind. Modern physics and ancient texts are singing the exact same song, just in different languages. The universe isn't just stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we can imagine. Which leaves us with this final, crazy thought. According to the multiverse theory, in another universe, you just skipped this explainer. But in this reality, you stayed, you observed, and you expanded your understanding. So if reality truly is shaped by the conscious observer, I have to ask you, which universe are you choosing to perceive right now? Keep questioning, keep learning, and thank you for joining me for this explainer.